So I just got back from my showing of Birds of Prey, and while it wasn't the best DC movie I've ever seen, it definitely was very enjoyable. Now, I have a couple problems with the movie, and while I'm not going to get into them here, if you do want to see a spoiler review, please like and subscribe. And tell me you want to see a spoiler review. So Birds of Prey was directed by Cathy Yan, and it's, I think, her first ever Hollywood endeavor. I haven't seen her in much else, and if she is, then please let me know because I would like to see some more of her work. She's definitely a visually interesting film teller. From this movie alone, I can tell she made a lot of interesting set choices and all that. I think this movie is kind of like Joel Schumacher Batman films, but in a good way. They all look very interesting, and I think the cinematography is done really well. I don't know who did it, but I applaud them for their efforts. Now, before I get into things I didn't like about the movie, let me get into the things I did like. Margot Robbie is stellar as Harley Quinn, as always, and I think she did a wonderful job in the role. And she really got to shine in this movie, mainly because this movie was about her. I think Ewan McGregor did a great job as Rowan Sionis from Black Mask, even though, you know, I wouldn't really call him Black Mask, but I'm not talking about that right now. He did a great job. Ewan is great in almost everything he's in, and I think I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but I'm not sure. Let me know. He did a good job. Chris Messina did a good job as Victor Zsasz, and apparently the two are gay for each other, but, you know, that's alright. Just changing comic book lore is alright now, I guess. Like everything is. What was it like? And I like to Mary Elizabeth Winstead's performance as Huntress. Although she's not in the movie much, she does leave a good impact, and I do want to see her specifically in future movies. Now, the things I don't like. Some of the characters are not fleshed out at all. Black Canary, played by Juliette Smollett Bell, I think I'm pronouncing that right. She was not really developed that well in the movie, and while I did think she was a good character, she wasn't good enough, and she could have used some more depth. Renee Montoya is your typical cop stereotype. I didn't really see much to her character, and like, she was added just to, like, equalize or have more diversity to this cast, which we didn't really need that much. We could have put someone more unique to the Birds of Prey lineup into that role, but that's just my opinion. And then Cassandra Cain is okay. She's a typical kid sidekick. We saw this in Deadpool 2 with Russell, except I think it was done much better there than it's done here in this film. And I mean, the kid might have a future in this franchise, but I don't see her appearing anymore in this franchise. I think this movie is her one and done. Like I said earlier, the set design is perfect, and I really liked it. I went off on it at first instead of, explaining the plot. The plot. Alright, we're done with things that I like about the movie. Now we're getting into the things I don't like. The pacing in this movie is god-awful. If you've seen the first Deadpool, you would know that the first act is mainly jumping back and forth between the present and the past, trying to catch people up to Deadpool's life story. This movie does it too, but much, much worse. Harley Quinn narrates almost all of the movie, and while I like Harley Quinn, I don't want to hear her tell me the story. I'd rather watch the story happen. There's so much back and forth trying to introduce all these characters, especially midway through the film when they start trying to introduce the Huntress character. And I'm like, why didn't you just do this at the beginning, like you did with every other one? Like, I did not need to see the Ace Chemicals blowing up I think it was in the movie 3 times, and I did not need to see that. What else? The story made no sense. I mean, yeah, it's Harley's story, but why couldn't it just be about Harley? I think it would have been interesting to have a whole movie of just everyone trying to kill Harley Quinn. I think the MacGuffin of the movie, the Bertinelli crime diamond, only makes the story more bland and unoriginal. And I think they could have did something really unique with this, and they didn't. I don't like movies that go back and forth between flashbacks and flash forwards and all that. I would like a movie, if necessary, to tell a flashback. But if it's not necessary, I would like you to just have a simple 3-act, a beginning, a middle, and an end. This movie has a beginning, kind of a bit of a middle, and then a really rushed ending, which I'm not going to get into because it's pretty standard DC ending, and you probably already know what it's about if you've either seen the movie or... Actually, I don't think anyone's seen the movie. The DC Birds of Prey has the worst box office openings for any DC movie since 2010 Jonah Hex movie. How many of you knew that was a thing? Exactly. Nobody. What else? There is one more thing I wanted to talk about, and that was the lack of any kind of connection. Although I don't mind that there's no connection to most other DCEU properties, but seeing as how you have Margot Robbie and you're referencing Suicide Squad, you should have a couple more connections, especially with the Gotham side of it. I don't think Batman was mentioned more than once or twice in the whole movie, and I remember reading an article saying Batman disappeared and that wasn't mentioned at all in the movie. I don't know if that was because of Batwoman, which is another Bat family property going on, but I don't know exactly, but they should have explained that more as to why, there's a whole crime war going on with Black Mask and all that, and Batman wasn't around for any of it, or for Ace Chemicals blowing up for that matter. But it was still a very enjoyable popcorn flick, and it's nowhere near as bad as some people are saying it. Like, I've seen some critics on YouTube saying, oh yeah, it's horrible, it's a feminist piece of shit. No, it's not too bad. I've seen much worse. Have you been watching Doctor Who recently? Now that's bad. This is a harmless little popcorn flick that I really enjoyed, but I don't think it's the best. Margot Robbie, Ewan McGregor, and Mary Elizabeth... I already forgot the last name, I'm blanking out. But they were all really good parts. The soundtrack was really good, which I didn't mention, but it has another original soundtrack with a whole bunch of cool songs, like Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy before it. And even if you don't like it, I'd recommend at least giving it a shot. In my opinion, I'd give Birds of Prey a 6 out of 10. Good, but not great. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Hopefully that next movie is The New Mutants. Unless I see the Sonic movie this weekend, which would, call for a Sonic review. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.